All right, guys, Tuesday night video coming up. You know how I do it. Tuesday night video where we don't talk about a game, we talk about the big picture. We talk about the franchise. We talk about the team. Where are we going? Where are we headed? So, first of all, before I say anything, after the baseball game is over tonight, I'm watching it to my right now. I'll be on Twitch. I might beat World of Final Fantasy tonight, so you can come in and watch that, or you can come in just to talk to me. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But I will go live sometime shortly after the baseball game is over. I'm 99.9% sure. So, um, I'm going to use this video to talk about this front office because the front office is potentially in flux right now, and what they do this season, or what they did in this offseason mainly, is going to affect whether or not they get to keep their jobs next year. Before I start with that, though, I got a whole bunch of stuff written down here for that purpose. I got a lot of people in my last video saying that I was being negative, and I normally would ignore that stuff because people are going to say what they say, but a lot of people said it, so I want to go ahead and just address it in this video. You guys are probably right. I was being a little negative in the last video, which I don't really know what you guys want me to be positive about right now. I mean, micro sense, I get it. Like 2 days ago, we played a great game. We did. The players played great. Very few players came up short in any way last two nights ago. I can't blame them for the loss at all. I can't really blame them for anything bad that happened out there. But I'm a big picture guy, guys, and this team deserves my negativity right now. And I think some of you might not be totally getting this part of it right here. So let me lay this out right now. I'm just going to say this, and hopefully you all will understand it. And if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. The 2018 Seattle Seahawks have a franchise quarterback in the prime of his career, and they are not Super Bowl contenders. That deserves my negativity. The fact that the team can go out there and play to the best of their abilities at home and they still lose because they're not anywhere near as talented as the other team, I'm going to be negative about that. Because think of all the mistakes that this franchise had to make to get to the point where they can play to the best of their abilities and lose a game at home. Think of all the things that we have done in terms of mediocre drafts, bad free agency decisions. We've let the wrong guys go. We've brought the wrong guys in. We've made mediocre trades. We've made some bad trades. The cascade of bad decisions, starting in, really, in my opinion, the 2013 draft, has gotten to a point now where this team is not a Super Bowl contender, even though we have a franchise quarterback. Trust me, I would not be negative at all in the slightest if our quarterback was Josh McCown, or even a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick, or if our quarterback was a rookie like Sam Darnold or Josh Allen. I would be like, wow, we got a lot of potential. Hopefully we can get ourselves a franchise quarterback, or hopefully this young kid ends up being our franchise quarterback. That I would be pumping sunshine. But I can't, because we have a franchise quarterback in his prime, and I know he's not Drew Brees or Peyton Manning, but he's not that far below a guy like a Drew Brees, supposedly. And here we are, not putting him in a situation where he can contend. And those years of having a franchise quarterback are precious. All right? Once you get one, you have to use every last one of them to the best of your ability, or else what are you doing? Okay, if you don't think it's hard to find a franchise quarterback, go ask the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they've been around 42 years. I don't think they've ever had one. So that's what I'm negative about. I'm negative about the fact that this team has a franchise quarterback in his prime and they haven't put the pieces around him to contend. And you as a Seahawks fan should be negative about that too. You want to be excited about what happened in that one game on Sunday. I get all of that. But we are not Bills fans or Browns fans or freaking uh, Bill or Bengals fans. We are not one of these teams that just wants to compete, that just wants to win 8 games. I don't do that anymore, okay? This team won a Super Bowl a few years ago. This team has been the one of the 5 most successful franchises over the last 15 years. This team has been the second most successful franchise over the last 6 or 7 years. I'm not doing moral victory stuff. So I will be pleased by good effort. I will. But if you think I'm going to sit here and just be completely okay with the fact that this team put themselves in a situation where they had to punt on this year in terms of Super Bowl contending, even though they have a franchise quarterback in his prime, I'm not going to do it. Okay. So, the front office. Like I said earlier in this video, somewhere back there, the guys in this front office are in a dangerous spot right now. I think a lot of the fans are fed up with some of the bad decisions. A lot of fans want John Snyder gone now. I do not. A lot of fans think that if John Snyder cannot get this team headed in the right direction quickly, he should be gone next year. I agree with that. I mean, if John Snyder does not show signs of being able to push this team in the right direction, then he's got to go. He's got to go. And if we don't see a product that is quickly improving by the end of this year, I think virtually all of the fans are going to be ready for a change. And I see fans calling for Pete Carroll as well because, those two guys are linked. Those two guys work together. I get that. I'm not so crazy about the idea of dumping Pete Carroll by the side of the road because there are things about Pete that are irreplaceable that I do not want to not have. So I went and looked at it. I broke it down. I looked at a bunch of different sites, looked at a bunch of different charts. The moves that the front office made in the last offseason, so basically after the Super Bowl last year that the Eagles won, or Super Bowl this year, excuse me, what did this team do? What kind of decisions did they make? Were they good? Were they bad? Were they just whatever? Or are they impossible to define right now? And I made a list to see how through 5 games, how is this front office doing? How are we going to grade the decisions made by this front office? So, Seahawks fans, you tell me how you guys feel how the front office did this offseason. And you go ahead and tell me if you want these guys out of here, or if you like them, or if you think that a good offseason is enough to save their job. Because if Sunday taught us something, it's that we're not that far away. We are not as far away as we maybe thought. We might be one offseason away from competing for a Super Bowl, but it has to be a good offseason. And if John Snyder is not the guy who can give us that good offseason, he's got to go, and we got to go get somebody who can give us that good offseason. We're already wasting 1 year of a franchise QB. I don't need to be wasting more. Okay, so I separated everything into 4 categories: good, bad, whatever, and cannot evaluate. So here are the things the front office did in this offseason that I liked. Seabass, 1 year, $1.6 million. We are paying Seabass slightly below average money. If you look at the kickers in this league, I think the $1.6 million that Seabass counts against the cap is slightly below average. And he is playing like a above average kicker, in my opinion. He's missed a few kicks, but he's also made a couple very long kicks. I think he's been above average. I'm not going to say he's been good, but I'm going to say he's been above average. We re-signed Joey Hunt to a 1-year deal for $360,000, already paying dividends. I mean, he stepped in against Dallas when Justin Britt couldn't go, and we saw that he has come a long way. He is not the roster fodder that he was a couple years ago. That I didn't think anything of him. He played well in that game, and that ended up being a good signing. Who knows how that Dallas game goes if we don't have a reliable backup center. A couple of these draft picks in the 5th round, also good. Again, I'm going to look at everything: signings, draft picks, coaching hirings, etc. Trey Flowers already looks like he can play in the NFL at cornerback, and it's been 5 games. I did not think he was going to look this good this fast. I didn't think he would look this good ever, maybe, but I certainly didn't think he would look this good this fast. Pro Football Focus says that he is the best cornerback in the league against the run right now. Think about that, guys. This guy was playing safety in college last year. So that pick, A plus, money, 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 money. He is starting in the NFL right now. Salute. Michael Dixon, 5th round pick, good value. He's been a good punter through 5 games. The last 3 games, we haven't seen him do anything spectacular like the first 2, but we know what he can do, and he still wows us every now and then with a punt inside the 10, or some crazy good directional punting. He's doing kickoffs now a little bit. Great pick. Also good, Tyler Lockett extension. I think we got a steal. I think Lockett took a contract that is smaller than the contract that he would have gotten had he hit free agency based off the way he is playing right now. He is back to being a real bona fide deep threat. Somebody who really stretches the defense and can beat single coverage and forces a safety over the top. I think we hit a little bit of a jackpot on the Lockett extension, and to know that guy's going to be here 3 more years, so long as we want him anyway, that's very good. Mike Davis, this offseason we threw him a 1-year, $1.35 million contract. That's paying dividends already. He's had 2 really good games, and he clearly is going to be a part of this running attack going forward because he's earned it. Because, I mean, you cannot sit down that kind of production. So he might have 1,000 yards this year. I don't know. And we got him for a bargain bin price. Dwayne Brown extension, 3 years, $34 million. On top of the 8-point-something million he's earning this year. It's reasonable money for a good left tackle, and through 5 games, I'm good with Dwayne. He's not a super duper star anymore, but he's good. He's playing well. He's given us some stability on the left side of the line now. 3 years from now, he might not be any good, but I'm sure there are ways to get out of that contract. I'm happy with the stability he offers us right now because he is one of the better left tackles in football. And he gives me something I can rely on over there. Sweezy, 1 year, $1.45 million contract. Just kind of a throwaway thing almost. I don't think we thought much of it. And he is playing good football. He stepped in when Posick got hurt, and he stole his job. I mean, he's never going to be the greatest guard in the league, but he has come a long way from a few years ago when he was here. I think that this version of Sweezy is noticeably better. And there were plays in Sunday's game where I would have fully expected Donald and Sue to just wreak havoc, and Sweezy was part of the reason why they didn't run wild on us. DJ Fluker, A+++. A year for 1.4 million, not even 1.4 million actually. And that dude has a mean streak, man. He likes to hit people. He likes to get into the, trenches and make some defender pay for trying to make that tackle. PFF singled him out in that Rams game for playing extraordinarily well. I think he played good against the Cowboys. I think he played pretty good against the Cardinals too. I don't know how we got this guy for so cheap. I don't know why he wasn't working out anywhere else he had been, but I'm hoping we can keep that guy around for a long time because he is shockingly good. Even in the preseason when I said, this guy's going to be good for us, I didn't think he was going to be this good. So that is a money signing. Justin Coleman, we extended him by 1 year, less than $3 million. He hasn't been as good as he was last year, I don't think, but he's been fine. He's a good slot corner. You need those. We definitely need those on this team. That's been great. And the final thing I listed here as a good decision by the front office this offseason, Poona fucking Ford. If I ever get another Seahawks jersey, and I don't like jerseys very much, it might be Poona Ford. That dude is a hoss. Fun fact, Puna Ford did not play against the Broncos or the Cowboys. In both those games, we gave up a bunch of yards rushing. He played against the Bears, played against the Cardinals, and now he's played against the Rams. In those 3 games, we stopped the run. Todd Gurley, the great Todd Gurley, got 3.5 yards a carry. The Bears averaged like 3 yards a carry with their 2 running backs. And we didn't have our linebackers in that Bears game. David Johnson didn't do shit against us. He's not playing every snap. I get that. He's only playing like, somewhere around 20 snaps a game on average, I think. But Puna, remember that name, guys. He could be our Brandon Mebane for a while. I'm trying to figure out how this dude went undrafted, but there it is. Okay, so those are the good things that I found. So let's move to the bad. Let's get to the more negative stuff. First of all, I'm not going to list any of the players that we let go, just because how they're doing in their new places is kind of irrelevant, because we were trying to clean house to start over, because we didn't want to give any marginal players big contracts. We didn't want to keep paying superstars big contracts when we didn't have the team to put around them to actually compete for a Super Bowl. So, look, Sherman's playing great in San Francisco, but he got hurt. So how do you feel about letting him go? We let him go in part because we were concerned about his health. He already got hurt after, 3 or 4 games. We let Michael Bennett go to Philadelphia. He's playing really good through 5 games. He's gotten like 20 quarterback pressures through 5 games. But, that was a salary dump, guys, because we didn't believe he could stay healthy starting a 16-game season. And I'm inclined to believe we were right. So it looks bad that Bennett is over there wrecking fools in Philadelphia, but I'm going to say the front office probably did what they had to do there. So I'm not going to say any of those things we did are bad. Like, Paul Richardson's another one. He's playing okay in Washington, but I didn't really want to give him a contract like that. Luke Wilson, I haven't heard his name in Detroit, to be perfectly honest with you, so I don't know what's going on there. But I'm not talking about that. So to me, the 2 bad things that we did this offseason really were, I got to talk about Rashad Penny. I think Rashad Penny's a good player. I think he can be a good player for us. I think there's a good chance that 2 years from now, we are like, phew, thank God we got Rashad Penny on this team. But right now, it's got to be said, it doesn't look like we need him. We have, in that Rams game, and the Rams defensive line is one of the best we're going to play all season, we rolled out there with a 7th round pick and a undrafted free agent, I think. I think Mike Davis was undrafted. And we ran the ball all up and down that field. So Penny's a good player. Penny might be very important for us in a couple years, but as of right now, I can safely say we don't need him. Even if he would go out there and play well and get 100 yards and average 4.5 to 5 yards a carry, we don't need him, because right now we have other things going. So even though Chris Carson might get hurt and might never really become a bell cow back, even though Mike Davis, same thing, he might never be a bell cow, as of right now, you got to kind of feel like maybe we were best off keeping our 1st-round pick and just taking Calvin Ridley. Because that dude's tearing it up over in Atlanta. He scored like 7 touchdowns, and we could use the receiver help. So it's got to be said that as of right now, we probably should have just taken Calvin Ridley with that 1st pick and not traded down. So for now, I'm going to say that was probably a bit of a mistake, but it's not a disaster. It's something that 2 years from now can completely reverse itself. The other bad thing would just be Schottenheimer. I'm not a believer. I don't think any Seahawks fan is. Sunday was good. Sunday he did some good things. We did more play action. We stuck to the run, even though we could have easily decided to abandon the run. Still problems. Still real problems. There's no intermediate passing attack on this team. It seems like the pass attack a lot of times is all or nothing. We bust a few big plays, but we're not actually marching the ball down the field through the air. We can march the ball down the field on the ground, but that's a little different. So yeah, I'm going to say that was a mistake, and that's no small mistake. Because, again, franchise quarterback and you stick him with this bum offensive coordinator. That's bad. The whatevers. These are the things that this team did in the offseason that, you know, it's not good, it's not bad, it's not helping you win, it's not helping you lose, it's just whatever. Jaron Brown, 2 years, $5.5 million. He's a decent player. He's made a couple plays for us, but doesn't feel like we're getting anything out of him that we can't get out of David Moore or even Keenan Reynolds if it came to that. I don't know if Jaron Brown is bringing anything to the table that those guys are not. So we needed the depth. We needed him just in case we ended up not being able to get anything out of Moore and, some of these younger guys. But as of right now, he seems pretty replaceable. So whatever. Quinn Jefferson, we extended him 1 year, 630,000. He's been playing a good amount. He had one good game against Dallas. I don't know. I'm not seeing the growth that I was kind of hoping for this year. He seems like he's just a guy, and he's already picked up 2 personal foul, the roughing the passer calls. So I don't love that. Brandon Jackson, I think I've seen him make a play like once this year. We got him this offseason for $500,000, which fine. I mean, you got to have guys like that on your roster just to fill things out. Brandon Marshall, 1 year, 1.1 million. At this point, I don't know why he's still on the team, and the fact that he's not working out does not make this signing bad. I mean, he gave us one good game in Denver. He gave us somebody to put out there while Doug Baldwin was out. But right now, all he's doing is stopping the growth of a guy like David Moore and even Keenan Reynolds. That's all it is, because he can't get open. His hands are crap. He's slow. He does provide something that nobody else on this team does, size at the receiver position, but he's not even really using that. So I don't know what he's doing on this roster at this point. Obviously, somebody could get hurt again, and then we'd have to deal with him, but it doesn't seem like he has much left, and a guy like him is not going to be happy just sitting on the bench all day. So I don't think he's going to be on this team for much longer. Jacob Martin in the 6th round. I haven't seen a ton from him, but 6th round pick. We traded a 6th for Brent Hundley. I don't know, guys. I haven't even seen Brent Hundley play a snap. Not even in the preseason, so no idea. Whatever. Mingo's done some pretty good things. We got him for 2 years and $7 million. He's made some plays. On the whole, I don't think he's played great, though. I think he's just kind of a guy, He's a guy who's capable of making a few splash plays, but I don't see him ever living up to that 1st round pick status. J.D. McKissick, 1 year, $400K, whatever. I like McKissick, but he's been hurt, and when he gets back, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any room for him to play. We can't even play C.J. Prosise. And Dion Jordan, we gave him the 1 year, $1.9 million. I think it's the RFA deal. He's not healthy. His knees are still bugging him, it seems like, and that sucks because we were depending on him, and he's not really doing very much for us. He's not invisible, I'm not saying that, but we were hoping that he could be our 2nd starting defensive end, and he might just be cursed with bad injuries at this point. So he still has time to turn this around, but to me, that's another kind of, whatever. He's a decent person to hold a roster spot. Too early to determine. This is the frustrating part, because this is going to constitute a good chunk of our draft class. The guys on this team who could be contributing as rookies, we are not going to be able to really figure out right now because they're not ready or they're injured. First we got Rasheem Green. I knew that he was raw coming out of college, but I was kind of hoping maybe he would contribute as a rookie. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And now he's gotten hurt. We don't know when he's going to be back. I'm not surprised, and I'm not upset that he's not contributing very much as a rookie, but I was hoping a little bit, But 3rd round pick, I think he'll be good next year. I'm not surprised that as a rookie he looks like he's not really ready to contribute, but too early to say. Shaquem Griffin, We got him. He looks like a special teamer. He looks like he can contribute on special teams a little bit. Um, Obviously very hyped. A lot of NFL fans who are not Seahawks fans have an eye on him because his story is so cool. To be determined. I'm not surprised that he looks lost in, full speed NFL action, and nobody really should be. But he's going to get a couple years to see if he can figure this thing out. Let's see here. Will Dissly, obviously, soul crushing still. I'm still shaking my head over that one, guys. I mean, he was showing his ass through 3 games, and then he goes out there for game number 4, and who knows if he's ever the same. I hate to say it, but that kind of injury doesn't always come back the same way. I mean, Graham did, more or less, but that was lucky. Dissly, I'm hoping he's as lucky as Jimmy was. Ed Dickson, we need him now. I mean, we need a tight end now who can make some plays and block a little bit. And Dickson, 3 years, $11 million, hasn't gotten on the field yet. We'll find out in a few weeks. But if Dissly was continuing to ball out, I would have said this was a bad signing because it turns out we don't need him. But now we need him, and now he gets a chance to prove it. So, Dickson, you earning your money when you get back in a couple weeks. And the final thing that I'm undecided on is the Earl Thomas situation, the way we handle that. It depends on what he does when he comes back next year, presumably for another team, and we'll see how much he has left, because the injury he had this year was, it did not look over the top serious, but it turns out it was. So, little bit concerned that he might be, the China in a bull shop at this point, if that's a thing people say. I don't know. So it's possible that we dodged a bullet by not giving him that contract. In fact, at this point, you have to say we probably did. But at the same time, maybe we could have traded him for that second-round pick from Dallas or something and gotten what looks to be a pretty good second-round pick. That chance has been missed. So that doesn't look so good. But that's the state of the front office to me. So I was looking at this and I was like, wow, there are a lot of good decisions here. Some of them are small time. I know. Joey Hunt is small time. Even Mike Davis is not the biggest deal in the world. But these are a lot of good decisions, guys, and I only see a couple of bad ones. I see a couple of lackluster ones like Jerron Brown and Brandon Marshall. I'm not crazy about signing those guys, but even that, they're not bad players. They're not horrible. It's not like they've done nothing or they've been useless. I just kind of feel like they're getting in the way of younger players that have more potential. So I was surprised when I really stepped back and evaluated this front office because, unfortunately, our rookie class is not going to be great. Hopefully, Flowers continues to play good, Dixon continues to play good, Puna continues to play good, and then we'll have 3 impact rookies with the opportunity for Dissly and Green and Shaq to come back next year and be impact sophomores. But this is the kind of stuff that can save John Snyder's job, because it is clear what this Seahawks team needs next season. We need a pass rush. And we need a GM who's going to make the right decisions to get us that pass rush. If it's Clowney, it's Clowney. If it's, small-time players, it's small-time players. If it's the draft, it's the draft. Based off of this, I feel a little better about the Seattle Seahawks front office. All right, guys, 30-minute video. I do it long on Thursday night, guys. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to the future of this team because it is so important we get it right now. We got it wrong so many times these last 5 years. Put us in this position. I want out of this position as soon as possible. All right, pregame videos coming up when it's time for that. London this week, and a game we need to win. So everyone buckle up for that. Give me your thoughts on the front office down below if you would like to. How do you feel about how they did last offseason? And see y'all later.